تفرقا معصوما ولا تدع فينا شقيا ولا محروما. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to Him, and peace and blessings be upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, we do bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is His messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is part 2 of the review of chapter al-Baqarah. After 3 years of, and I'm doing my best to pick and choose the most important thing I said the last 3 years. Taqriban, an average every 10 sessions will be in one session now. The most important things of let's say the number of 10 sessions. Now, today we will be reviewing what we said about some of the introduction of chapter al-Baqarah. Last time we highlighted, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, the history of writing the Mus'haf. And we answered the question, did Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam give a full tafsir for Quran or not? And we spoke about the virtue of reciting the Quran. And we spoke about the most important topics of what we know as ulum al-Quran, the sciences of the Quran. And we spoke about Rasm al-Mushaf al-Uthmani, how it was written, and we have a quick idea about the qira'at last time. Now today, and we spoke about isti'adha and basmala and al-Fatiha, all together. Today, a quick introduction, just a review for what we said about Surah Al-Baqarah from what we have highlighted. That general introduction, the number of the chapters of the Quran, 114. 114, about 6,348 verses. More or less about 94,000 words. They were sent as a revelation on the span of 23 years. Now, Surah Al-Baqarah, it is the longest chapter in the Quran. أطول سورة في القرآن. And it contains the highest level of Islamic teachings or legislations. تشريع أعلى نسبة تشريع في القرآن. تشريعات, it's in chapter Al-Baqarah. We are talking about 52 pages of the Quran, about 2 juz' and half. And it's Madani Quran. And just to remind, it's from the Madani Quran, which distinguished by the tashri'at, with the legislations. Unlike the Makki. The Makki, it was debates, aqidah, fixing the aqidah, attacking the disbelievers, fixing the main ideas of the aqidah, while when everything settled down as in the Islamic state later, they started receiving the legislations and the teachings about various things. It's 286 verses from the most important topics. It contains tens of topics, but very quickly. At the beginning, Allah divided the people into three main categories from Islamic point of view: believer, disbeliever, munafiq. The munafiq or the hypocrite is a disbeliever, but Allah gave them a special category under the disbelievers. So this is the most important categories according to the Quran. The story of Adam. Before that, the story of the beginning of the creation. And a lot of aspects of the big, huge story of the children of Israel. The children of Yaqub alayhi salam. In chapter al-Baqarah, they have maybe the highest, more or less, let's say, portion of their history inside chapter al-Baqarah. So when you read chapter al-Baqarah, as if you have mastered the most important things about the history of the children of Israel in Surah Al-Baqarah. Now, the conflict between Adam and his offspring from one side, and Iblis and his dhurriya from one side, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained that to us. Now, part of chapter Al-Baqarah, Allah showed us how Sulaiman alayhi salam was innocent from the accusation that he used to use the magic, as he was accused by some of the children of Israel. وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينَ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ. Which means Allah is telling us that some people from the previous scripture, they were accusing Sulaiman alayhi salam that he committed kufr. And subhanallah, alhamdulillah, we are the only group of believers who are defending the prophets, by the way. Even the prophets of others. Yani Maryam alayhi salam, who's protecting her reputation like Muslims. By the way, even in Christianity, they don't have what we have in protecting her, even in Christianity. Even though she's considered the mother of God for the Catholics and she has a divine aspect, yet what we have about protecting her reputation is better than what the Catholic they have about her. So this is part of the Surah al-Baqarah about Sulaiman alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. It contains the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam and building the Kaaba, which is a major issue for us as well. And then it contains a very specific Islamic legislation such as al-Qisas, which is when someone kills someone else, how, or anyone harms anyone else physically by his body, starting from the top, which is killing, up to the least of any kind of physical harm to the body. This is called what? Qasas. Okay? And it contains a dain, the debt, al-wasiyya, the will, al-siyam, fasting, Ramadan, drinking the khamr, al-kuhul, al-qimar, gambling, al-rada', the breastfeeding, al-sadaqa, charity, the infaq. If you remember, it took us about 22 verses for about maybe seven sessions talking just about charity in Surah al-Baqarah, if you remember. 7 sessions, about 22 verses just to discuss our relation with money, which is simple part of chapter al-Baqarah, and our relation with the previous prophets at the end. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون. We highlighted as well عدة أحاديث في فضل سورة البقرة, the virtue of reciting al-Baqarah in specific. Al-Baqarah and Al-Imran, they have a very specific virtue in terms of recitation. Baqarah, Al-Imran, Prophet Muhammad in many ahadith, but Al-Baqarah in specific, Prophet Muhammad said, as Imam Muslim narrated, لا تجعلوا بيوتكم مقابر إن الشيطان يفر من البيت الذي تقرأ فيه سورة البقرة. Hadith sahih. Shaitan flee from the house in which al-Baqarah is recited. Whether you recite it or just let the recorder, the Baqarah to be recited is in specific. Shayateen. And part of our faith. It's not a philosophy. We believe in the existence of the jinn and the shayateen, and we know they do whisper and they do influence and they do help. وَأَنَّهُ كَانَ رِجَالٌ مِنَ الْإِنسِ يَعُوذُونَ بِرِجَالٍ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَزَادُوهُمْ رَهَقًا. Allah is telling us that some people, and we know those people who deal with them, they do the sihr, the magic, and they commit a kufr, and they do harm the people. One of the best ways to be protected from the influence of sihr and shayateen, reciting Surah al-Baqarah. Period. So chapter al-Baqarah, it's not anything. No, it's something, has a very specific status in the Quran. From what we highlighted as well, the beginning of chapter al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim, we said one of the very strong opinions that it's like a challenge that the Quran that you will be reciting now, it contains from these simple alphabets, letters, Alif, Lam, Mim. Bring like it if you can. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was challenging them. Because the Quran is a book of guidance which contains a lot of knowledge and a lot of challenge and a lot of, deep things about many things in this life. Bring if you can something like that. Up to this moment, subhanallah, سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. We will keep showing them in the horizons and within themselves our signs, our proofs, our ayat, till it becomes clear to them that it is the haqq, it is the truth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us day after day. In that time, the biggest challenge was rhetorical, balaghi. For us, it could be scientific. 1,000 ayah out of about 6,300 ayah, it contains what we call now scientific facts. Tens of them. Allah is challenging us. For example, the footprint. بَلَا قَادِرِينَ عَلَىٰ أَن نُسَوِّيَ بَنَانَهُ. Allah is challenging. It's not just I will bring you back from to death, but I will reshape your fingerprint again as it was. Who on earth 1400 years ago had an idea that every one of us had a unique footprint? Who? Who? If anyone can claim, bring you proof. No one. Where did Muhammad ﷺ, the simple, humble, Arab, illiterate person, where did he bring this from? This is 1 out of 1,000. Are you with me? Where? And we have, as I told you, when we speak about Richard Varley, for example, وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. We have built the heavens in might, and we are still expanding it. How did Muhammad know that the universe is still expanding up to that day? This is a physical fact now. All physicians, all scientists, they know that the universe is what? Expanding, by the way, in the speed of the light. It's not just expanding in the speed of the light. How did Muhammad ﷺ know? Who knew aslan something has to do with the speed of the expansion aslan? The people, they used to think that the center of the universe is the earth. Now the earth is just a simple thing in the galaxy, okay, with the sun. And our galaxy is one of millions of galaxies. And the universe contains millions of galaxies. And the sun itself, it's nothing. We know that. Where did Muhammad ﷺ knew that? Many examples. يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء. Allah is challenging that those who disbelieve in Allah, Allah will let their chests inside themselves be narrow like the one who is lacking the oxygen when he is going in the upper layers of the atmosphere. يجعل صدره ضيق كأنما يصعد في السماء. Who was traveling, up at that time? Who knew that there is less oxygen in the higher layers of the atmosphere? Who knew that? When did we discover that? Do you know? I have no idea, but I know that it's just either tens of years or 100, 150 years. Just because before that they used to have the big شو اسمه المنطاد balloons. منطاد, big balloons. And for example, the aeroplanes, just 110 years, 120 years. So they used to go just for how many thousands years at the beginning of the flights? 3,000, 4,000 feet? They used just to flight something maybe 1 or 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, which is nothing. We had just recently discovered that when you go up, you will have less oxygen. Therefore, you will breathe what? With hardship, you see. No one knew that. No one. How come the Quran says, your chests will be in difficulty like the one who's going up? How did Muhammad ﷺ know that? I gave you just 4 examples out of 1,000. This is the meaning when I say the Quran is challenging. Starting from Alif, Lam, Meen. It's a message of challenge. Just to humble yourself. Anyone who's listening to this Quran. And it depends. Where are you from? If you are a doctor of medicine, you will find something that will challenge you. The levels of the creation of the fetus inside the womb, for example. If you are a physician, you will find like these examples. If you are a geologian, for example, وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا, you will find something that will touch your heart and will challenge you. And the beginning of chapter Al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim. Just to bring your attention that I'm challenging you, I'm your Lord. If you can challenge, تفضل. And because we have other verses, we highlighted that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divided at the beginning of Al-Baqarah, divided the people into three main categories. And the interesting thing, the first category is believers. Second category, non-believers, mu'mineen kuffar. Third category, hypocrites. Now the interesting thing, 5 verses for believers. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. 2 verses for the kuffar. The direct, clear kuffar, which is just 2 verses. Then 13 verses for the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, to show you how dangerous they are. How the direct kuffar, direct. I reject you and I will fight you, I hate you, period. The munafiq, he is a kafir, but he's what? Hiding himself. He's undercover. So subhanallah, in total disbelievers, 15 verses, believers 5 verses, which means to know who hate you has the importance 3 times than knowing who you should be. Okay, very clear. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب هدى للمتقين يؤمنون بالغيب يقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. What else? Then you have 75% of importance to know who's your enemy and how they think and what's their mentality. وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا إلى شياطينهم قالوا إنا معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون. Showing how they operate behind the scenes. You need to know that. It's part of your reality. Subhanallah. This is one of the things that we highlighted that time. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. And one of the realities that the Quran says, that there's a group of the people, whatever you do, they will disbelieve. It has nothing to do whether you succeeded in conveying the truth or not. They don't want. This is a reality. Whatever you do, قالوا إنما نحن مستهزئون الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون. Whatever you do, they don't want. Now after that, اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. So Allah, one of the things that I highlighted at that time, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly distinguished that we have this category, this category, this category. The believers, He gave us the most important characteristics of them. The disbelievers, He called them kuffar. I said that many times and I repeat it very quickly. Al-kufr is a terminology that it has a specific meaning in Islam, which is the rejection and denial. When someone rejects something and denies it while he knows it, he's called, as a terminology, a kafir. The example that I always keep using, the word to cover in English has been taken from the word kafara in Arabic. Kafar, to cover, the same. So the English took it from the Arabic, which means to hide, to cover. When you cover something, okay, I'm covering that, I'm covering that, okay, I'm covering that. This is to cover, okay? Now, this is the original root verb of the meaning. Why we use kafara, which means to cover, to talk about rejection and denial. What's the relation? The relation is very simple. We understand this from وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. They denied it even though for certainty they realized it, they know it. And the example that I always use, that if I'm, for example, holding my glasses now, if someone asked me, do you hold your glass, for example, I'm covering now, I'm hiding now. If someone asked me, do you hold your glasses with you, I say no, even though I do. I have it now. You can't see them, but I know because I'm actually holding them. I'm 100% sure that I have them. When you ask me, do you hold your glass? I say no. I'm doing the act of kufr now, linguistically. I'm hiding, covering the truth that I know and pretending as if I don't know. This is kufr. So this is exactly now. When Allah says, for example, to Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, this is Prophet of Allah. They know he's the Prophet of Allah. But they say, we don't recognize the Prophet. When some of the followers of the people of the book, many verses, ولما جاءهم كتاب من عند الله مصدق لما معهم وكانوا من قبل يستفتحون على الذين كفروا فلما جاءهم ما عرفوا كفروا به فلعنة الله على الكافرين. They were waiting for him. It's not just they know, they were waiting. They have his exact description, literally, the place where he will be sent, the surrounding geographical areas by names, some his physical characteristics. شو اسمها الشامة؟ شامة ها؟ نيفاس؟ لا مش اشي مارك بيقولوا سكن بيرث مارك. يس لسه تايوان. جزاكم الله خير. هذا يمكن اسم العلمي اللاتيني. احنا مش دكاتره يا عمي، خفوا علينا الله يسعدكم. احنا you know he's a doctor. So that's why he's using the Latin word for me. عمي احنا يلا نحكي انجليزي احنا. The birthmark. You know there is a birthmark, you know, between his shoulders. They read about it in their books, and some of the rabbis, they used to come to Prophet Muhammad, you say, show me the birthmark. When they say it, you say, no, I'm sure that it's you. To this degree. So when they deny, this is kufr. So that's why, subhanAllah ta'ala, the Quran highlighted this with the specific verses at the very, very, very beginning. Verse number 6, number 7. At the very beginning, you open it, you are either a believer or a disbeliever. Unless if you, a disbeliever, identify as a believer, this is another case. If you want to identify, it's up to you. You know, we are living in the West now. You can identify as it depends. We don't play this game with Allah. Because I can identify, I can claim, but here you can't hide. This is exposed to Allah. What is the reality? That's why it's very important. Anyway, now, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala highlighted the importance, from the things that Allah highlighted, the importance of the prayer. وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. We highlighted this when we speak about the believers, from the most important thing, that يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ and يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ and you do the sadaqah. We said the prayer has something very special. That's why from the very beginning Allah emphasized this. يُقِيمُونَ, they established the prayer, and we highlighted this maybe in 2 full sessions about the importance of prayer, why Allah distinguished the salah to a degree that He uplifted Muhammad to the 7th heaven. 23 years of revelation, he received everything Islam except the prayer, just to show you how important it is. And by the way, prayer has something unique in Islam or other pillars of Islam. It could not be applicable on you all of your life. Is it possible to live a full life without fasting? Is it possible? I'm asking. Yes, I have some kind of disease, illness, I can't fast. It's simple. Right. Is it possible to live all of your life without paying the zakah? Yes. Is it possible to live all of your life without doing the hajj? Yes. There's no safety in the time, there's no money, no health, no wealth. Yes. So, but is it possible to live all of your life without salah? Impossible. Impossible. Unless if you are a non-Muslim. But how come? No way. If you are conscious with you have to pray. You can't stand, sit. You can't sit, lay. You can't move your body, your eyes. You can't move your eyes, your heart. When you lose completely the conscience, you will be forgiven. Subhanallah. So the prayer is not something easy. So therefore it's a message for the parents. When they think, for example, Habibi, take care of your son, your daughter, bring him to the masjid, ya Sheikh, still he's young. Naam. He's what? He's young. When he becomes elder and he takes a decision for himself, حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل. طب, why not to apply this rule with him about math sessions at school? Don't teach him math. Let him take a decision whether he would love to educate himself with math when he grow up. Who accepts this? Who? Have you ever found one person thinking this way? I will not teach him math or science now. It's up to him, not even English. Let him just play. When he becomes 12, 14, 16, let him decide if he would like to have math classes. Who accepts this? No one. No one. And he will fight for it, subhanAllah. When it comes to Allah, the same thing apply to the brothers and sisters, especially the mothers, la hawla la quwwata illa billah, when it comes to the hijab. I will not force her on hijab. Let her decide when she's become, for example, 12 or 13 or 14. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? It's completely against the logic. Why in everything else we do? The prayer is something very important. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala highlighted. وَالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. And we highlight something very important. When you go through hundreds of verses, we will say, يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ اللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ اللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Allah emphasized from the very beginning, وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. One of the most important things, Allah finished talking about the believers, that they have certainty in the hereafter. Even though the pillars of faith, they are more than Allah and Al-Akhir. We have the angels, the prophets, the messengers, yet the most two things that they were mentioned all dearly the time together, يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Because these two pillars are the most important basic things. Nani, if believing in the hereafter does not exist or we know nothing about it, everything in our faith will collapse. Because our existence here in this dunya, by the way, just for the sake of argument, in case we have no idea about the angels, what big difference will happen to us, do you think? Compared with if you would know nothing about the akhirah. Simply, we will believe that Allah is doing everything directly without any creation such as angels. And khalas, that's it, finished. But if there is no akhirah, and we are witnessing all kind of ups and downs and strange things happens in this dunya, and we have no idea about another life, how can we believe that Allah is just? How? If you are witnessing a zalim, a dictator who's killing the people, and he escaped with it, no one took revenge, and no one was compensated, and all of us, we passed away, we have no idea what will happen after death. What will happen to our faith? Collapse. It's a basic pillar. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Now, from the things that we discussed, قال هل يعذر الجاهل في مسائل الكفر والشرك? Is there an excuse for the kafir in case if he has an excuse? We gave two answers. In the dunya, it's not our business. For us, we have what we call أحكام دنيوية. يعني if someone denies Islam, he rejects Islam, I will apply on him أحكام الكفر والإيمان. Okay, which means if he rejected Islam, he will consider the kafir. As a kafir, I will not allow him to get married from my daughter. If he passed away, I will not pray the janazah on him. If he made a slaughter for any animal, I will not eat from his animal. This is called أحكام الدنيا, the legislations of this dunya. But what about the akhirah? Is he going to the hellfire? I don't know. It depends. If he's a true ignorant, in the akhirah, we have some true, genuine ahadith that those ignorants who were committing kufr out of ignorance, Allah will test them in the hereafter, a new test. If they are ignorant. But be careful, if superficially, I don't know who's ignorant or not. Do you think, for example, someone who's working in a very, very high rank of security forces in some of the most powerful countries on earth, he's ignorant in accessing the knowledge about the truth or the good or the bad or something? He's accessing the tiny details of everything we do in our life. But in case if he's ignorant or received a very, let's say, corrupted information about Islam, he will be tested. And it's by the way, many of us maybe we did not hear, in the day of judgment, those who passed away and they were classified non-believers because of ignorance, their test according to Hadith Sahih will be, they will say, but our Lord, we did not know. And it's true, they did not know. They will be tested in the day of judgment. By what? They will be asked, okay, if you believe in me as your Lord, Allah will be addressing them through the angels directly, Allah knows, okay. They will have a hellfire in front of them. They say, throw yourself to the hellfire if you believe in me. You are witnessing the akhirah now. You are in the akhirah. Okay, throw yourself if you believe. Anyone who threw himself, he will go to the Jannah. Which means he accepted and he submitted himself to Allah. Anyone who refuses, he will continue to be a kafir to Jahannam. It's a big test. So no one will be scared from the test. We are tested now. By the way, your aqid is tested 24/7 now. You are tested not to lie. You can lie. You are tested not to cheat. You can cheat. You have a big, pressure on you to achieve many things through cheating and lying. You don't do it. Do you think this is something easy? Why you do it? For the sake of Allah. Not because of the law. Because Allah commanded you this is haram. As a Muslim speaking. As a non-Muslim, I don't know. But if you are Muslim, we have a lot of opportunities to commit many things. By the way, all of us, we can be multimillionaires if we wish. We have many illegal ways to become like many other people. They go to the illegal things. But for us, haram things. We don't do it. Why? Because it's haram. But I can be a multimillionaire if I used illegal things. I can. Personally, to make myself, wallahi, I can if I want. But no, so it's haram. I will not do it. Is this a pressure, a test or not? I'm not witnessing Allah physically now. I'm not seeing the akhirah physically, I believe. Because of this, we will be rewarded. The one who rejected, he will not escape from it. He will be tested there. So no one will escape. Subhanallah. This is part of what we said. Part of what we said as well. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we came to the munafiqeen. The Quran, the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, that Allah did not, look how great Islam is. Allah did not specify any hypocrite by his name. But Allah gave what? Descriptions for the munafiqeen. Give you. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزاد. Allah described, they pretend, they claim, they have sickness, illness in their hearts. So highlighted the description, so that once you know the description, you can realize with whom you are dealing. This is from one angle. Now, one of the questions that we highlighted, which is, I'm picking and choosing the most important thing. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, في قلوبهم مرض. In their hearts there are disease. They have a disease, marad. So someone will say, okay, but they should be excused because they were created with the illness or with disease in their hearts. Said, no, they will not be excused. Because, do the following analogy. All of us, we are exposed to many heart diseases, such as envy, hasad. Do we face it or not, all of us? Are we excused to envy? No, you have to fight this feeling. That's why Allah gives us al-aql and al-shara'. Okay, sometimes you have this kind, anyone who made you angry for whatever reason, if you have the power, an idea of taking revenge could come to your mind, and you can't take revenge. Why you control yourself? Because Allah prohibited that. By nature, men would like to look at beautiful men in the streets, women in the streets. True or false? Do you have the desire? Yes. Do you have the power and urge? Yes. But what do? You control it. You fight it. If anyone has a disease in his heart, خلاص, let him, he has a marad or nifaq, and that's it. No. You have to fight it. Sisters, by nature, don't they like to show their beauty without hijab? Yes or no? Definitely. طيب, for the sake of Allah, they cover. So they are fighting something very powerful within themselves. The same thing. So when they say في قلوبهم مرض, okay, there's a disease. It's part of their bala. For whatever reason. Fight it. Be careful. So you will not be excused as any other diseases such as envy or revenge or hatred or. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. From the things that I highlighted in some of the sessions at that time, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. When we came to those, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He said, Ya ayyuhan nas u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum walladhina min qablikum la'allakum تتقون الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به. This ayah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was telling the people, humble yourself and believe in the akhirah and believe in what I'm asking you, because they were rejecting. One of the examples that I highlighted that time, and I will remind you today with, which because it's very important, the example of Sheikh Ali Tantawi from his book General Introduction to Islam. I mentioned this book many times, and I urge you to read this book, please. You have it free PDF on the internet. General Introduction to Islam by Ali Tantawi. Originally it's in Arabic. تعريف عام بدين الإسلام بالشيخ علي الطنطاوي رحمه الله. This is Tantawi of Syria, not Tantawi of Egypt. He passed away about maybe 30 years ago, rahimahullah. In his book, chapter 4, it's translated to English, very good translation. He mentioned the attitude of the humans from believing in the al-akhirah. I mentioned this in the context of the second or third or fourth page in the chapter alBaqarah, Ya ayyuhan nas u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum, believing on the akhirah. So Ali Tantawi mentioned this example that the people's attitude towards al-akhirah like a group of fishermen. They were living in an isolated island in the Pacific Ocean. Then at a certain time, the United States of America, they decided to do an atomic bomb test in this island, which means the island will be blown and it will disappear. Khalas, Americans, they decided to do it in this island. Few hundreds of fishermen, just very limited number. So now they had no choice to stay in the island. However, Americans, they gave them the opportunity to choose any country of their choice. They have no choice to stay. They will leave. They will force them to leave, or they will blow the island with the atomic bomb. So you will be killed. You have to leave. You have no choice. Then he said they gave them the warning. United States of America military forces send the warning. They say, for example, in 6 months, you have to leave. However, in this 6 months, just tell us where would you like to go. We will take you with your personal belongings, and we will give you a check, and we will secure for you transportation. But you have no choice to stay. He said the people in the island, they were classified into 3 categories regarding the American warning. First group, they said, Ya ammi, di America بقى, which means they are the Americans. They will blow up. They will explode the island. So let me respect myself and find a country immediately, do quick research, find a suitable place and leave the country, and khalas, shut up your mouth and go. First group of people. Second group, they said, we know that Americans will blow up the island, but still we have 6 months. So why to rush? After 6 months we can do a lot of things. Let's enjoy 5 months, 20 days. And we have just small belongings. The last 10 days we will just, hello Americans, I will leave now. Then they will take me, خلاص. Why to busy my mind? Second group. Third group, they said, Ya Ammi, who told you that there are Americans Aslan? No, it's a big lie. There's no Americans on the earth Aslan. It's just a big lie from the chief of the tribe of the island. He's trying just to scare us to take our land. He said the first group of fishermen, they are like the believers. It's like, it's an example. Like the believers. They received the revelation. They knew that they will leave this place definitely. So they prepared themselves and they say we are ready. Second, the group like disobedient believers. Now they knew this will happen. They kept postponing. And still we have time. Like the sister that you tell her, sister, you have to wear the hijab. You became an adult now. Say, inshallah, I will wear it when I finish the high school. I'm not against hijab, Sheikh, but inshallah in the high school. Then, hello, sister, you are first year in the university. First year still, we are in the beginning. I'm struggling. I don't have this kind of, I need to concentrate. Inshallah, by the fourth year, I will wear the hijab. Hello, sister, you are married since 5 years now and you have 2 kids. When you will wear hijab? Inshallah, when my first son goes to the kindergarten, inshallah, I will wear the hijab. Hello, sister, your 5th son has got married 5 years ago and you became a grandmother. When you wear the hijab, inshallah, when my grandson will go to the university, inshallah, I wear the hijab. Then she's in the gharghara now. She's 86, okay, facing death. Hajjah, hello, when you wear the hijab. She's khalas, leaving. This is, now she's not a kafira, she's not rejecting the hukum, but kept what? Postponing. Who told you that you will have the time to do it? Yeah, second category is the most dangerous one, by the way. Because they said, you have 6 months. I left everything, but we are, let's say, 1,000 fishermen. In theory, just to take the example in a very simple way. You've been given 180 days. You ignored 170 days, and the last 10 days you discovered that you have a lot of belongings, you can't take them. Or you started calling the American military, okay, I will leave. They say, sorry, everything is fully booked. But we told you 6 months ago, you did not book. So sorry, but sorry, khalas, time is finished. But I won't. You can't, because you can't prepare. Everything is booked, full. Wallahi al-mathal a'la. I'm just making simple. Second category. Third category, the deniers, al-mulhideen, atheists, communists, rejectors completely. Who told you that there is akhir aslan? This is a big lie. Who told you there is Allah? Don't let those Muslims, okay, brainwash your brain. Enjoy your life, brother. Enjoy your life. You see? That's why I used at that time, because I'm choosing the most important things, by the way. I used that time, if you remember, the methodology of what if. Do you remember? The what if methodology? I used to use this methodology with some of my students. I used to have some atheist students in my classes. So some of them, they keep arguing, talking, then we can't. I say, look, the methodology of what if, I say, example, this is me as a believer, this is him as an atheist. I said, now I make this discussion between us. I say, if what I believe in as a believer happen to be false or not true, what I'm gonna lose? You, as an atheist, you believe that we came from the nothingness by the law of coincidence. And we are nothing, and we will be nothingness. Adam. صح? طيب. According to you, I thought as a believer that there is a hereafter. I thought I'm not supposed to lie, so I was an honest non-liar. طيب, I did not cheat, I did not kill, I did not lie, I did not, because I thought, okay, when I did these things, yes, I lost some certain things. I did not enjoy drinking alcohol. Alhamdulillah, I was not urinating on my pants in front of my kids, for example. I did not enjoy, yes, I lost the enjoyment of drinking alcohol. For example, I did not enjoy whatever, but I was enjoying the fact that I did not cheat, I did not lie, I did not kill, and the people respected me. Then when I came to death, according to you, Mr. Atheist, I will not say I discovered, because I will discover nothing, because I will be nothing. So what I'm gonna lose? According to him, what I'm gonna lose? Nothing, because I will be nothing. I will be nothing. So there is no feelings, no memory, no existence, no body, no heart, no soul, because I'm nothing. So I'm losing nothing, because I will be nothing. Type. What if, Mr. Atheist, what I claim happened to be true? 50-50 between you and me. You claim that there is no God, no hereafter, no accountability, no day of judgment, no. When you face death, everything فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. We have uncovered the cover on your eyes and your sights, and you have a very sharp sight. The angel of death is waiting, punishment is waiting, okay? Jahannam is waiting. What you will do? No way to return back, خلاص. For me, I'm not losing anything. For you, you will lose everything. That's why I said, what if what I believe happened to be true? May God be with your soul. You are the great loser. But for me, I'm losing nothing if I consider yours. So I don't care. You can't tell me, hey, if you don't believe in atheism, blah, 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 will happen to you. You are threatening me with what? What? Nothing. Nothing. But there's something really scary if you don't believe. Sheikh, do you think that we have to be scared? طبعا you have to be scared from your Lord. Ya salam. What makes you loyal to the law in any country? Please say the truth. Your ethical rules? Let's be frank. The people, they abide to the law because of their ethics, or because of what? Because of the afraid of the punishment, and because of the power and enforcement of the law. True or false? All of us. Let the electricity stop now. All the CCTV camera stops. Or the police, for whatever, they don't operate. Wallahi, you see the people by thousands, they will become criminals. They will kill, they will rape, they will steal, they will destroy. And this happens many times in many countries. When earthquakes or volcanoes or something happen, thousands of the people, they go and they steal and they commit crimes because they know there's no accountability. This is the nature of the human beings. So, should we scared? طبعا, otherwise any one of us will be in the top rank of criminality. Wallahi. That's why we need to believe in Allah. Otherwise we will not humble ourselves. So this is from the important things we highlighted that time. طيب, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we started with the story of Adam. In the story of Adam, we realized from that the angels and Iblis, they were created before Adam, but by default, because they were there when he was created. We knew about the rejection of Iblis because of the arrogance. Now we have a question. Why Iblis was among the angels at that time? We have no answer. How can we know? We don't know. We don't know. Because the big question, إلا إبليس كان من الجن ففسق عن أمر ربه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the angels and Iblis was among them. But why Iblis? We have many narrations, but none of them is a true, genuine, sahih. Okay? We don't know for sure. We have no idea. خلاص. Simply Allah told us that He decided to command. This is part of, by the way, to the best of our knowledge from the superficial text altogether, all the creation that we know, they were created before us. all of them. يعني angels before us, jinn before us, animals before us, the sea creature before us, all of them before us. It seems Adam alayhi salam and we, the offspring, we are the last phase of the creation. Subhanallah. But for how long? We have no idea. And by the way, this is another thing. The secular atheists' mentality of a certain part of the world, they want to convince the people with the Darwinism. And we used to be apes and monkeys and we were people of the caves. This is completely false. Because Adam alayhi salam, according to the Quran, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. He taught Adam the names of the things. You know the names? This is the origin of the knowledge. To a degree, the angels themselves, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let the objects appear among them. What's this? They did not know. Adam, he knew. So when Adam came to earth, okay, he did not have the high technology that we have, but he has an amazing knowledge. Be careful. They were not people of caves, as they say us, with a lot of hair and having this kind of speed, like this. This is just in the movies. Wallahi. This is a big lie. You should not believe in it. They were not. What's the meaning? عَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. He taught him complete knowledge about the general things. He used to know this and that and this and that. To a degree, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of this knowledge, the secret of the soul and the knowledge, Allah commanded the angels to do sujood for him. And we knew from that at a certain time previously, sujood or prostration was allowed in Shara' ma qablana. It was accepted. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, starting from our Sharia, not allowed anymore. It used to happen. In chapter Yusuf, وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا. It was permissible, شرع ما قبلنا, from Adam to Yusuf alayhi salam, that's a sign of respect to do sujood between the human beings. Now, it's not allowed anymore. It's completely haram. It's a sign of kufr now. But I mean, what we need to know here, that some certain things we have no idea why. Iblis was there. We have no idea. He was there. And Adam had the upper hand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored him. So please don't accept this kind of the caveman and this kind of, because I mean all of those people, they try to fix this to support Darwinism. Because by the way, Darwinism is one of the pillars that they use to support atheism. Because they are not able to find an explanation for our existence. So in chapter alBaqarah, it's clearly وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Successive authority. I will be sending them down. We highlight this in many sessions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Then one of the things that we highlighted, and by the way, from the things that I highlighted as well, that very, we have moderate secular people, we have a tough secular liberal people. When you go to their literature, they consider people of religions like Muslims and Jews and Christians, they consider that a backward, stupid idiot with myth. They deny the whole possibility of the existence of Adam and Hawa. Because they believe in Darwinism, that we came from a single cell, and this cell became a fish or a whale, this became whatever, or something crawling, then we have the gorillas and this kind of, the whole idea. And we, believers, we invented the story of Adam and Hawa. We have some people who believe in this just to support their faith. For us, it's clearly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. And the last thing, and I will stop today with it, inshallah. It's good to know the following beautiful piece of knowledge. And this is the final one that I will cut. Now, Adam, his name Adam in Arabic from قال آدم من أديم الأرض. Adim al-ard means the soil of the ground. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created Adam, He took from the ground, you see, then He created a mud, then He created the soul. While Hawa, she was created from Adam. Hawa was not created directly from earth. She was created from a piece of Adam. Adam himself from the soil. Hawa from a living creature. Subhanallah. The word Hawa قال لأنها خلقت من حي. The word Hawa from Hay, which means she was called in Arabic Hawa, she was created from a living creature. That's subhanallah the difference between male and female. وأنه خلق الذكر والأنثى. In Islam, it's clear cut that we have differences between males and females. The male is created from the ground and the soil. The female was created from a living being. That's why you will see how, for example, men, they tend more to be more harsh, more tough, more hard, more strong, more rigid because of their nature. While females, they tend to be more soft, more lenient, okay, more flexible because they came from a living human being, while men came from the other. So they do share a lot of things, but they have different things depending on the role. One of the beautiful things in Islam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam and Eve to complete each other, not to compete and fight. While, for example, now we live in a world, especially when we speak about tough feminism, tough liberalism, tough secularism altogether, they always convince females that you are in a continuous struggle with the man. No, in Islam there is no struggle between a man and a woman. They complete each other. They don't compete, they complete. And from the beautiful things, that maybe just to finish with it, inshallah. We have, I think, 14 minutes left. In 2 minutes I will finish, then you can, inshallah, prepare your wudu. Every time I remember the story of Adam alayhi salam and Ummuna Hawa alayhi salam, I remember the story of the original sin. Original sin. Because it's believed in other scriptures that the original sin that was made by Eve alayhi salam. Because according to the Torah, which is the first chapter of the book of Genesis, the first chapter of the Old Testament of the Bible, now Satan, in a shape of a snake, convinced the woman to eat from the tree. She ate from the tree. She found the tree nice, delicious. Then she convinced her man to eat. Then he ate. Then they sinned. They committed a sin. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to the book of Genesis in the Old Testament, punished the woman. Punished who? The woman. Part of the punishment for the woman, He decreed upon her that she will keep suffering in her labor. When she gives birth, the pain of her labor is like a divine punishment for the females to the day of judgment for the original sin. Do you know this? Look what happened in the Quran to compare. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَوَسْوَسَ لَهُمَا الشَّيْطَانِ فَأَكَلَا مِنْهَا, which means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He made it the justice now. It was not the fault of Hawa. No. Both of them, they listened to the whispering of Iblis. He managed to convince both of them at once. And both of them accepted the whispering, and both of them, they sinned. Subhanallah. The whole idea of the original sin attributed to the female was completely cancelled in 2 verses. And the beautiful things, my thinking now, when Allah decreed, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the final decision, He said, وَعَصَى آدَمُ رَبَّهُ فَغَوَى. Adam has disobeyed and he went astray. Then Allah excluded Eve from the whole story. But they both listen in both, as if the Quran is telling you, you are in charge. You have the qiwama. You are the man. You are the caretaker. Faddal, yalla. Hold the responsibility. This is the justice of Islam. While others, they speak about the reason why we were kicked out from the Jannah is the woman. In Islam, no. Yet they speak that Islam oppresses women. La ilaha illallah. لا إله إلا الله والحمد لله على نعمة الإيمان أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فيا فوز المستغفرين السلام عليكم. See you next week inshallah.